Are you kidding me? I thought I was onto something. Fine, have it your way. Don't think I'm done tearing your case apart, though. Should we at least get a new statement to work with?
You have no proof for any of your speculation.
Oh, that's not a new statement. Oh. Was that the first statement? Should probably come through self-defense. Let me find out here. I don't think we pressed this yet.
No, we have not.
That's far from the end. That went well beyond simply defending herself. She's the one who went after me!
You're the one that committed a crime first. Tired point.
Okay, so trespassing means that she could fucking kill someone?
This case is very biased against us, but I think it's a good thing that you can tell it's not from a writing perspective.
Yeah.
Well, she still could have chosen a less confrontational approach.
Castle Doctrine, the law is on my side.
Ugh.
No matter what you say, my mother was well within her rights to confront you.
Preliminary criminal. Oh, wait, an easy way to argue this one, as expected. I have to make sure my theory doesn't get dismissed first. Just trying to keep this as vague as possible. Which makes my course of action obvious, so I have to force her to get more specific. If I press her with some pointed questions, she'll be forced to explain like it or not. It's under guard. Wow, missing a parentheses. It's so sad. Wait, can we prove one of these points now? Wait. She did, though. I think this one's also true.
It's speculative because the article was just on her desk. She could have just had that article, but that doesn't really mean anything, but try it.
The victim knew about me. That much is backed up by the newspaper found on her desk.
Another place you had no business being in. But can you prove that she actually bothered looking up your name? Odds are she was only interested in the article because it was about Fan Lade.
Fair, but it proves she had the chance to look into me.
You are conflating proof of opportunity to look you up with proof that she actually did so. The plaintiff is correct in calling it speculation.
Ouch. My heart.
I loved her.
We try pressing this again. I think it's time we actually present something.
Okay. Should
Sure.
we try to present another precaution she took to see if we can go somewhere from there?
What?
Though I don't know what.
Oh, do we have the, metal detector somewhere?
Click on the tower diagram.
I think
metal detector is on every visitor. Yes, present the tower diagram.
Yes! Every visitor had to provide ID and was checked with the metal detector at the entrance. I would presume that was one of the safety measures.
Everyone here was subjected to that, so I won't deny it.
I think this might actually get us a new statement. God damn it. I sound as desperate as she does. Otherwise you would have.
There's really not much more to say about it. If you can stop anyone suspicious at the entrance, anyone inside the tower is safe. That's also why there's a mechanism to block the elevator, in case anyone tries to force their way inside.
conveniently useful to trap us all in here as well, I guess. My mother was so concerned about that. Wasn't holding the auction here kind of a terrible idea?
No choice. It had to be held sooner or later. The guy died 5 years ago, supposedly at least. Besides, remember that the 2 people that were killed died alone in their homes. Modus operandi. It wouldn't have matched the killers to commit a crime at such a public event. So holding the auction with these measures in place seemed reasonable enough. Of course, in hindsight is 2020.
Well, I'm not that killer, or any killer at all, to be clear. In any case, would you mind adding the security check to your testimony?
My opinion? How do I put it into words? I'm going to strangle you.
Excuse me?
Is that what it's going to take to make you stop?
If we're going to talk about how the victim was totally innocent and not planning to murder me, and looking at whether these measures she took to support that intention is important.
I'm not necessarily a fan of that reasoning, Miss Chase. I will allow this statement to be added, but you better not press it, just ask for another.
No worries, I like where I'm at right now. I'm close to something that doesn't track with our oh-so-cautious victim, I think. The security guard.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna present our gun that should have been taken.
No, that's the wrong statement.
Oh, what? Where is it? Okay,
She set up the security check at the entrance. It was meant to keep the tower safe.
Yes! Oh, hi, Aurelia.
That's broken.
Hi, guys. I'm the witness now. Aurelia didn't do it. Not guilty. Can anyone tell me what this is?
Why, that's your gun. The one you shot Mrs. Holden with.
Allegedly. Exactly, Your Honor. Well, whether I shot her isn't proven yet, but that's not my point. Tell me, did Mr. Gart's security check spot this gun?
Of course it did. There's no chance of smuggling that past the metal detector. I don't think you can deny it just because Mr. Gard is dead now. His logs still document that you brought this gun.
Exactly
Thank you,
my
Miss
point.
Holden. But you seem to misunderstand what my problem was. I'm well aware there's no contradiction here. The gun was found during the check. The real issue is that absolutely nothing was done about it.
Huh?
If the purpose of this check was to ensure safety for the event, tell me, what would have been the logical thing to do if you saw one of the guests bring a weapon?
I certainly would prefer they didn't enter the venue with it.
Absolutely! This entire incident could have been avoided if the guard had just not allowed guns inside!
You like throwing dirt on the dead, don't you?
Okay, this one's not even speculative. That's literally true.
Is this really the time to call him incompetent?
Listen, I'm gonna call him incompetent long after he's dead, girl. No, I don't think he can be faulted at all. Say what you want about his attitude. Mr. Gart always knew exactly what he'd been instructed to do. If he didn't confiscate any weapons, that means he's never been told to do so. In fact, he kept logs suggest as much. He's clearly only supposed to take notes, but not to obstruct anything. That is what I take issue with here.
Oh please, who even cares about the exact details of the check?
If the purpose of the check was for safety, then just taking notes makes zero sense. Anyone could have still brought a weapon and caused havoc regardless. This is not the sort of check that someone worried about crazy serial killers would be satisfied with.
It does seem a little carefree, I have to admit.
How do I respond to that? So what? What do you think this is proving?
It proves that the victim clearly could not have been that worried about getting killed. No, when did you get into this game?
You done yet? How about I demonstrated the fortuitousness of this argument to you? Don't you realize the nature of the security check contradicts your own theory as well?
Really now? This should be good. If her only concern was murdering me, there's no reason for her to care how effective that check was. If anything, it would have been better to keep it lax. More potential suspects.
You complete Philistine! How far does your ignorance extend? You being allowed to bring your gun would have been exactly what got her killed instead. Why would she let you keep your weapon instead of ensuring you're an easy target?
Ew.
That's a good point, actually.
She might not have just thought I'd actually be that armed. I feel like she could have told Mr. Gart to disarm me specifically, and by the time I showed up, it was too late to change his instructions. Also, all of that is assuming that a plan existed before I even came into the tower. That's not what I claimed. She only decided to kill me after she recognized me inside. There's no way she could have known I'd be here.
Tell me then, would she not consult the guard's logs to make sure you were truly Aurelia Chase?
She didn't have the time.
Would she therefore not be aware of the fact that you brought a gun? What rational actor would still choose to attack someone who is carrying a superior weapon?
That's exactly what she seems to have attempted, though. Perhaps she was just confident in her ability to ambush me.
We can as well postulate that the victim thought a public event would be safe enough. The previous victims of the supposed serial killer were all found alone in their home. Mrs. Holden may simply have been confident that the killer would not act overtly.
That seems a little...
This is ridiculous. We can keep giving each other perpetual checks for eternity in this realm.
It certainly seems this has reached a stalemate. Both sides claim the security check does not fit into the opposing narrative. And while attempts were made to justify each position, none of them were convincing. Consequently, it also isn't a refutation of the plaintiff's position. Please return to the cross-examination.
What? Still not enough, huh? Fine, I'll keep this up all day if I have to. Oh.
How long do all of you intend to continue this farce? Even you must have realized this line of argumentation is guaranteed to be perpetually fruitless.
What do you mean, Miss Preston?
The defendant's new approach to discrediting my case is more illogical than anything prior. She is attempting to take a handful of phenomena, the victim's actions, and simply claim them senseless. In more precise terms, she's trying to question the victim's motives, and therein lies the fallacy. Another person's thoughts is one of the most unknowable noumena.
Do you even know what that word means?
No. No fucking clue what that means.
I'm doing this one-handed right now. An object or event that exists independently of the senses. Oh, so we're just talking supernatural.
Yeah. I guess.
They're one of the most unprovable things. I am not so certain that you are thinking anything at all, Ariella. I do not think you can prove me wrong.
What's your point? Like it or not, the victim's motives are kind of vital here.
I would dispute that, but I will descend to your mental level and ask you a simple question. Was Hegel a realist or an anti-realist with regards to metaphysical knowledge?
What?
Hmm?
Yeah.
How is that a simple question?
Precisely. Hegel described himself as an idealist and subscribed to so-called absolute idealism.
Man, he should have subscribed to Krasnaloo.
Yet I've seen many people argue that he was actually a realist if you read his works a certain way. An asinine debate that never manages to progress anywhere. Because the subject is long dead, he can no longer provide any information. If what he left behind wasn't clear enough to the average mind, they will argue in circles for eternity.
You've lost me on a much more fundamental level, but whatever floats your boat, woman.
Of course, the answer is readily apparent to anyone with a modicum of my intelligence. Hegel was a flat-headed, insipid, nauseating, illiterate charlatan.
No clue who you are, Hagel, but I certainly can relate. What are you trying to say? That it's pointless to talk about this because the victim is dead? I don't think being dead allows you to be immune to scrutiny.
What you are indulging in is pseudo-reasoning and abstract speculation. The victim cannot be called to the stand for hopefully obvious reasons. She can no longer explain why she set up that security check, or why she didn't use her gun.
Because why those actions need to speak for themselves.
Do you still not comprehend what I explained to you a minute ago? Clearly her actions are too arcane to be taken one way or another. She didn't use the gun, which may seem strange, but it doesn't support your murder thesis either. She set up a security check of questionable purpose. Again, this does not help her with murder. Yes, you may have called into question that the victim was worried about her safety. Yet there is nothing here that makes your murder thesis any less speculative.
I mean, it still casts doubt on the testimony at the very least.
The plaintiff's testimony was about your theory being baseless before you derailed it as usual. You've done nothing to deny that original point.
I'm getting there. You have to point it out.
Now that you mention it, we've certainly strayed from what we were talking about before. Miss Chase, I don't really understand where you are trying to go with this.
I don't really understand where I'm trying to go with this either.
You proposed a spontaneous murder plot, but none of these issues even pertain to that. The gun might be an odd point, but otherwise it's fairly immaterial with what the victim was doing beforehand today.
Sorry, I had to settle for any issue I found.
Ha! The look on your face says everything. It was a bluff all along. Color me unsurprised. Can we end this? It's time to collect the winnings.
Guess that's just how they are after all!
Should have seen it coming, really.
Whoa,
Like
Reggie!
to.
She's a slippery one! Let's book her already! Losing my momentum. Damn it, I thought she'd left something useful slip. These issues best put a tiny crack in her version of events. Something is off here. I know it. These events have to fit into the bigger picture somehow.
Anything you'd like to say in your defense, Miss Chase? Or has all of this just been an attempt to stall?
The issues I pointed out are actually very relevant, Your Honor. Time to wing it. At first glance, there is no way that a gun being brought beforehand could factor into the victim's plan. After all, I propose that she only conceived this plan when she saw me today. However, what if in reality all of this was much more premeditated? Oh.
Oh shit. Music stop.
Oh shit.
What transient reasoning. You really do love to change in whenever...
What?
You really do love to change in whenever you deem it convenient.
That's not very fair. Of course I'll adjust my thoughts based on new information. Only someone very conceited would insist on having being right all the time.
Damn.
Wonder who you're talking about there.
You mean these actions reveal a premeditated plan by the victim? I hope you're not just trying to say something shocking.
Logically, it seems very impossible Mrs. Holden could have known I'd be here in advance. You only let that info slip by in the group chat of the Queens of Crime.
Oh no. Oh no.
I've got a bad feeling, Raggy.
I don't think it was Lillian, but no, wait, no.
I have a really bad feeling, Raggy, because Lillian showed up unexpectedly with us.
Oh no. Oh no, oh god, oh god.
Lillian
oh, no.
Lillian wasn't supposed to show up. She wasn't supposed to show up with us. She showed up unexpectedly out of the blue.
Oh,
She
dear
took
god.
a plane ticket. She took a plane ticket to come over here.
Oh no. Lillian and Claire would never leak this to anyone. Not sure about the new girl, but Claire vouched for her. Could this be related to that potential stalking I noticed? For now, it's not important how Mrs. Holden knew. Let's assume she found out somehow. I think I've said it clearly enough.
Thankfully, even the standards of this court are not that unelevated. I'll be generous and start with the marginally easier point. Surely you must concede that the security check would still not have been relevant at all.
The victim ordered the guards to specifically note down suspicious items. There can very much be a deeper purpose to that if you think about it.
Please let us know the reason then. What would the security check have accomplished for this plot?
Established that I brought a weapon, right?
Yes.
The check established that I brought a gun with me.
Evidently, a 5-year-old could have reasoned out that much. How does that serve any plan in any manner at all?
Now wait just a second. The guy actually turned their own case around on them? A turnabout, if you will? It's pretty obvious what this accomplished. Just think about the current case. After all, that fact severely incriminates me.
Huh?
I'm not sure I follow, Miss Chase. I thought you were talking about a plan to murder you, not a frame-up.
Why not both? As pointed out earlier, there would have been no easy way to carry out this murder quietly. However, if I provably brought a gun with me, it would be much easier to excuse it.
Excuse it, you say?
She had a gun! I was just defending myself! Mrs. Holden could have argued something like that.
What patent speculative nonsense!
So you want to claim that the intent was to frame you? Regardless, this still does not explain why the victim purchased a gun.
Right, the gun she bought is the strongest point against the plaintiff's case. I can find an actual reason for why she decided not to use it. This might have a leg to stand on. Mrs. Holden did not end up using the gun. This suggests that it might have been some kind of contingency. The gun was a backup plan in case...
In case I didn't bring a gun myself is what I'm thinking.
The key point here is that I bought my gun. However, there was no guarantee that I would. I presume Mrs. Holden gets a spare gun in case I wouldn't show up with one.
Why was it so important that a gun was involved?
Because her plan required me to have one. Like I said before, she wanted to make it look like self-defense. It was important that I had a firearm, and she merely had a knife.
My goodness. All of this was planned out? Could that really be?
Obviously bluffing. There's no coherent plan here.
Well, let me explain the whole idea from the top. Time to push back at full force. Alright, let me drop my comic book real quick. Contrary to what I said contrary to what I thought before, Mrs. Holden was already aware that I would show up today. The motive remains the same, however. She thought I was planning to come here to look into her shady business. Yeah, shady business. Sorry, I got distracted by my dog. She must have also known I owned this gun, probably here to buy one herself. If I hadn't brought my gun, she'd have slipped her own into the study. But since I did bring it, which she could confirm with the guard, that wasn't necessary. The plan was, from the start, to kill me while I was looking around and then make it look like self-defense. Remember how the auction got stopped? Mrs. Holden showed us that the knife would be the next item for sale. It's a little questionable. Why would she spoil that surprise just before deciding to take a break? This is part of her calculations as well. She wanted to show that she just happened to have that knife on her person at the time. During the break, I did indeed go into the study as she predicted. Here's where the gun comes in. Even if I was trespassing, it would have looked bad if she just stabbed an unarmed person. That's why she had that gun to potentially plant if push came to shove. Bringing my own gun was more ideal for her, of course. Which is what ended up happening, explaining why she brought a gun but didn't use it.
That may explain those points away, but the plan is utterly idiotic. You bringing your own gun was ideal, you suggest? The fact you brought your gun is how she ended up getting shot.
We discussed this before. She definitely aimed to take me by complete surprise. If she hadn't accidentally made a sound, I'd have cleanly gotten my neck sliced without ever seeing her. I'm starting to think about how close of a call that was. Speaking of clean, this ties into the reason she brought the spray. From what I'm aware of, blood pattern analysis is pretty advanced these days. Depending on the stains produced, it would have given away that my neck got sliced from behind. Mrs. Holden intended to clean up the scene accordingly to obscure this. Once that had been done, we can imagine what was likely meant to be the final step. She probably intended to fire a shot at the wall or even shoot herself in a non-lethal spot. That would have attracted everyone to the scene and really sold the struggle.
Probably intended. Might have done this or that. It really always is the same non-logic with you. You cannot point to a single fact that even remotely suggests someone intended to frame you.
Funny you'd ask, because there's actually one thing. Something we talked about at a great length earlier in this trial, as a matter of fact. Turns out, all of that still wasn't enough for Mrs. Holden. Someone could have very well suspected she used the gun on herself. which is why she prepared one more trick to establish me as the culprit to anyone listening. The TV! Or the tuning fork, one of those.
I want to say one more thing. So, with all this, we're assuming that Mrs. Holden knew that we had a gun. And, how would she have obtained that information? You can see where I'm going with this, right?
No, actually I don't.
Lillian leaked us. She leaked everything. That's what I'm going with.
I really hope she didn't. I don't want Lillian to be... Oh...
I know.
But why? Like, why
I
would
know.
she do that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Also, I think the longer I do Aurelia's voice, the more high-pitched my voice naturally becomes.
Wait, but oh my god, wait though. Wait.
What?
Who's the one that brought up that our voice sounds like that person on that TV show? It was Lillian. Lillian's the one who brought that up. So, she could have also leaked that to Mrs. Holden. And that's like her favorite show too, right?
But then that doesn't explain her murder.
Getting rid of a loose end with Mr. Gart? I don't know.
That would still mean that she's guilty. Even if what you're saying is true, I don't think she killed Gart.
She's the one who said, "What if I did kill him?" She didn't... Last time I remember, she didn't deny it.
Oh, God. It is genuinely crazy how fitting this music is right now for what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Earlier we established that a show with a voice that sounds like mine. Oh my God. I didn't even read this line yet. Oh my God.
Yeah, I read that line and that's where my brain went. Indeed, the Reaper show. What about it?
I'm gonna guess that Aurelia is about to get to the conclusion you're at.
Yeah.
I think it was Reap What You Sow. Anyway, did that show really just... Oh my God, you're right, aren't you? You're right.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying...
Aurelia,
if you're saying...
Sorry.
If, like... Oh my... For this to be true, that means Lillian lied!
Yeah, like, this is lining up too perfectly.
Oh my God. Did that show really just happen to be on at the time? Or was that rather than being an unlikely coincidence that actually happened by design? Aurelia, please think!
Please, come to the conclusion.
Another common, unsurprising argument.
I think, if anything, this might be why she would back down from this argument. But, like,
By design, but who could have planned for something like that?
This is literally the Golden Court all over again. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
Are you suggesting that someone from that TV channel is involved in this?
Exactly.
Not really.
No, nobody would have been able to predict when the break would happen. To have any chance of reliably using this trick, you need to have some control of the auction schedule. It could have been employed by one person only, the host, Mrs. Holden. She could have very much timed the break to match up with the show. She knew the script, she just needed to then turn up the volume on the TV at the right moment. A perfect way to fake an altercation, which I sounded like the aggressor. With no recording and only a half-broken TV in the room, nobody would have ever questioned it! And that is the full extent of the plan to frame me. It still assumes you did it, though. Anyway.
All of what you said is merely projection. Your asinine theory is that the victim tried to kill you and have it appear to be self-defense? That is precisely what you are pathetically attempting yourself right now. To pass off your murder as justified.
Can you prove me wrong?
Fortunately, that is not how matters work. Even if we were to brainlessly suppose that everything you proposed was true, are you not forgetting something?
She's gonna mention it.
The entirety of this hypothetical plan relies on you illegally entering the study first. You would be firmly in the wrong either way. Even if this plan existed, nothing of it ever played out.
Oh boy.
Mrs. Holden did not kill you. She did not use your gun to fake an attack on herself. You drew a gun and shot the victim while trespassing. That is simply the end of the story.
You're saying it makes no difference whatsoever? Hope she doesn't have a point.
Miss Preston has a point.
Figures.
It is possible that Mrs. Holden was planning to do something like this, but this appears to be immaterial to your culpability for the crimes you committed. As mentioned earlier, the victim is legally presumed to have acted in self-defense. In order to prove otherwise, one would have to show Mrs. Holden used unreasonable force. Given that you drew your gun during the confrontation, that will be quite difficult to prove indeed. If we add the fact that you are not in a place you are lawfully allowed to be, it becomes almost impossible for you to enter a self-defense plea yourself.
Thank you for siding with justice, Your Honor. It would be outrageously stupid if any burglar could claim self-defense that easily.
You'd be
Such
surprised.
nonsense. This trial shouldn't be stained by it. Let me spell out why none of your claims matter.
Alright, we're... Oh my god. God damn it, I know we should stop, but I want to keep going! God damn it! It's up to you now. I can go either way.
Let's keep going.
Alright.
Nice try, but none of the things in your theorized plan actually happened.
You're too hooked to let it go either, now aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
And even if they were meant to, your guild is still a safe bet.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt to be a little more elaborative just once. Also, don't say okay now. The last time that happened, it turned into like a 7-statement testimony.
Why would I say anything beyond the essence of my point?
You know, I'm getting some weird sense of deja vu to something that happened an hour ago. She can't keep getting... I would have gotten it away with... He can't keep getting away with this!
Do you know the best method to never lose a gamble?
Cheat.
Wow. You know the best method to never lose a gamble? Have a trucy right.
Yeah.
I feel like you said yeah before processing what I said. Not playing in the first place, I'm guessing.
You have to play, of course. Hedged bets. I've already accounted for every possible way you could argue against this. And I made sure I lose in absolutely none of them.
She sounds just like Victoria. Yeah, this girl hired her.
Let me make something clear, Miss Chase. You tried arguing you didn't fire the shot, which went nowhere. Now you've tried portraying the matter as self-defense, which has also gone nowhere. I've been rather lenient so far due to the unconventional nature of this trial. However, I will not tolerate much more of this. Are we understood?
I understand, Your Honor. Oh, this just made things worse. Whenever I try to take a step forward and then set 2 steps back, or find some breathing room before this oppressive trial suffocates me. I theorized this plan based on events you yourself admitted to.
You mean like buying a gun? Is that a crime now?
Yes.
It's firing the gun that's criminal. But that's not something she did now, is it?
The point is, she intended to use it in a crime.
Mensri is not sufficient without the act. You naturally lack the qualifications to know that.
Indeed, you cannot be found guilty of an attempted crime for merely intending to do it. It must be accompanied by an action, and this action must go beyond preparation.
You see, the cards you hold are totally worthless. This plan would have only been criminal the moment Mother tried to stab you in the back. But that's not what happened now, is it? You turned around before anything violent went down. Mother never stabbed you. She didn't shoot herself. And she never framed you with the TV. And without that, you got absolutely nothing to pin on her.
Can I argue any of this? I actually don't think we can argue any of this.
Yeah.
Probably a waste of time. She wouldn't listen to anything she wasn't sure about. We'll have to agree to disagree.
Are you serious right now? Do you need me to spell it out again?
Are you serious right now, bro? Sure, that might help me understand. Please just give me something to work with.
You're clearly in denial. Here's what the cards on the table say. 1. You were the only other person who entered that room, which was breaking the law. Not even you ever disputed this. 2. The gunshot is the only lethal wound. Your gun. Let's remember that it came from that. 3. Mother didn't come to harm in any other way except by your actions. Only yours. Stop denying the obvious. You killed her, and there's no excuse you can make.
Can't really look any worse at this point, so maybe I should risk looking into one of these.
Check the autopsy report. Small cut on tip of her right index finger. I was the only one.
I mean, technically.
But we're taking anything at this point.
Mind explaining again how I'm the only one that harmed the victim?
Good idea. That's something I will gladly add to my testimony.
You didn't have to go that far.
No, let's really make that point as clear as possible. You're the only one who caused harm to my mother. Why should we even consider anyone else?
Tip?
It's really insignificant, but...
Oh, I guess too insignificant.
Shit.
What is it on this autopsy?
That's not related, though.
Yeah. How would you know that for sure?
I raise you the autopsy report.
Well, it does mention some other wounds aside from just the gunshot, right? Even if they're not lethal per se, doesn't it leave room for multiple people harming the victim?
You can't be serious. How do I put this? Those were obviously caused by your struggle with my mother. They're still on you.
You can't know that.
I know that you have nothing to show otherwise. Last time I checked, there was no other fight my mother was involved in yesterday. Accept it. Nobody else contributed to her death. Your fault, 100%.
It's admittedly a bit of a long shot. But if there's anything that might even just slightly take some of the guilt off me,
Maybe the holes in the floor?
Let's say, but her argument is as solid as it's concise. I think I'll be able to keep aiming for a simple self-defense argument. Well, I can really undo what I've done last time. Press her for clarification, then find something inconsistent. I know. And why won't you talk to me? I feel like it's the same.
I know, like, the holes have already been, like, disproved, but that wasn't during the trial yet, so... Damn it.
Damn.
Maybe we try switching the statement? Because there are other options.
Oh, wait.
Gunshot is the only lethal wound. Only one person entered the room. Or only one who entered the room.
I think we just need to...
Maybe...
I'm not sure.
Maybe check the door again?
Our favorite contradiction. The door.
I think we should just try both of those and then press them, maybe.
Gunshot's the only lethal wound.
Yeah.
Gunshot was the only lethal wound. Could you elaborate on that?
Good idea. That's something I will gladly add to my testimony.
You didn't answer.
Do not succumb to over-eagerness. She will turn your testimony to a large farce again. Very true. I will replace my other reason. One at a time is more than enough. The gunshot wound is the only lethal wound, and the bullet came from your gun. Hello?
Hello? Noah here?
Susan here?
I think it was the other statement. Because I don't think this... I think it was the other statement.
Okay.
Where was it? Oh, wait,
Nope,
this
that's
is the
not
wrong
it.
statement.
We can also try those other 3 statements there, but just switch it to the last one first.
Can we talk a little more about how I'm the only one who entered the room?
Sure.
There we go. Oh. Wait, I'll fix this.
When Mother died, you were the only other person inside the study. Illegally, I might add.
I think it was the first one we did. Get over here, Susan. Get over here! Get your ass over here! Girl thought you could skim past this. Could... Wait. Is this how we tie in the other murder?
How?
I think we're focusing on this part, but what if it's this part?
What are you thinking?
I mean, Victoria didn't really talk about it, as they've made abundantly clear that she just doesn't give a rat's ass. But I don't even know, like, nothing really, like, adds up. As in, like, nothing really ties them together, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
There's gotta, like, I mean, do you have any better ideas?
Not really.
Do I represent Gart, you think? Where's Gart?
Either that or the autopsy report.
I'm not very confident in this. Oh, okay, I guess this is how we do tie it in. Huh. This is a stretch even by my standards. Really? I don't know where your stretch standards are after this case. But if I play it right... That is factually wrong. I'm not the only one that harmed the victim. Oh.
What?
She's gonna talk about a different victim that we're talking about. Oh my god.
That's clever.
Next bluff, here it comes.
This is no bluff, Miss Holden. If anyone tried to bluff their way through things, it's Victoria over there. Yeah. After all, she tried to skim past a pretty important detail in this.
The autopsy? You can't just baselessly claim those wounds weren't all caused by your struggle with my mother.
Funny. I thought I struggled with your mother's upstairs, not downstairs. Wait, no, that... Oh, god.
God damn!
Bro, really? I meant, like, on the top or bottom floor.
Oh.
You're mistaken. This is the second autopsy. The one performed on Mr. Gart, the victim you all don't want to talk about.
I don't see how that relates to what harm came to our victim, Miss Chase.
I'm not the victim. The devil's in the case. The devil's in the details. Read carefully, Your Honor. Here's
I
blood was found
enunciated
on
wrong.
Oh my
I
god!
completely forgot about that!
That's so fucking true, though!
I completely forgot about that! Oh my god, I literally read this and I missed that.
Well, we're both pretty tired.
We're not gonna stop.
Mrs. Holden's?
Macaques? I'm not sure if Victoria hoped I considered this a typo or something. There's no way the detective could make such a mistake. She seemed like the type to triple-check everything. We need to appreciate two facts here. Our victim's blood is on that display case. And I had absolutely no access to that lower floor. Ever. Seems like someone other than me harmed Mrs. Holden after all. Guys.
Asinine as always. That may have been a mere accident for what it is even worth. Elucidate us. How would the victim have lost this tiny bit of blood? Certainly not from her deep chest wound.
That would have been something from the cut in her finger, I suppose.
Indeed. If you're able to see that, maybe you also see how decidedly inconsequential this is. Yeah, who cares about some tiny cut on her hand? Big deal. What, are you going to say that killed her somehow?
Poison. Well, it seems unlikely, but this is my chance to form a connection to the other crime. I have to make this work. We cannot rule it out it killed the victim. Autopsy does not specifically say the gunshot was the cause of death. And that embarrassingly took crowds like 5 episodes to notice. It's cardiac arrest!
Which was obviously caused by the bullet in her heart.
Then why not say GSW?
I'm not sure I quite follow what you are trying to suggest, Miss Chase. Surely you are not saying a small cut like that could have been relevant?
And what if it was?
How? How would a small cut like that result in her death?
What if something like this was involved? Poison, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Even a small cut can be deadly depending on what enters the body through it. The right poison or venom might have very well killed her.
What complete gibberish? Poison, really? I will allow myself to dismiss this by invoking Hitchens' razor.
Once again in English, please. What has a razor got to do with this?
How could I ever forget you are not familiar with any concepts of epistemology? Perhaps you have at least heard of Russell's teapot? Quod gotis aceattorney, gotis negatia.
What part of English was Yeah, she did just sort of... What part of English was unclear to you?
It really shouldn't be too hard to comprehend. What may be asserted without evidence may just as well be dismissed without evidence. There is absolutely nothing backing up this ridiculous poison claim. Nothing in the... She sweated!
The sweat! The sweat!
She was sweating!
Oh my god!
Did we realize that at the same time?
Yeah, because I was thinking through the autopsy, I was like, wait, didn't we literally only notice this today, too?
Yeah.
Wow, we are really bad at reading.
Well, even if we did see that, we wouldn't have any reason to think it's suspect because we don't know what that means.
I suppose.
Do you seriously believe we will simply accept this?
Yes. Sounds to me like you have no way to contradict my claim either.
The onus probandi decidedly rests with you. Don't think you can fool with an appeal to ignorance. I do not have the burden to disprove your unproven nonsense.
No need to get violent. I got the message. But there actually is one thing in this autopsy report backing me up on this. So if you'd stop interrupting before I finish my points, that'd be helpful.
The victim's autopsy supports a poisoning theory. That possibility is never even mentioned in the report.
We're obviously dealing with something subtle here, but there is one thing in that report which cannot be explained by the gunshot hypothesis. It's something that the poison might be able to make sense of.
That has to be your worst bluff yet. Call, show us the part that you think backs you up.
Sure, I'll call. This part right here can be explained by poison in the victim's system. That is massive. Jesus.
That's what she said.
Where is it? Sweat. Is OBS okay? Yeah, we're good. This right here. The victim's face was covered in an uncanny amount of sweat. She was gaining, some could say. Something that does not track with the light struggle she had at best. A poisonous substance might be able to cause that kind of symptom.
So you're really doubling down on this. I say that's still a total stretch.
It's true that the sweat is not accounted for by the plaintiff's version of events.
Oh, and do you think this makes any more sense? You think this is an excuse to say my mother conveniently died from poison before she was shot?
Yes, actually.
I didn't say that, but...
Someone poisoned the display case and my mother cut herself on it? That's just... How do I put this? Complete nonsense, that's what. I say we let the detective clean up this mess right away. Easy confirmation. She can clarify whether my mother could have been poisoned or not. We will do no such thing. What? You're going to let this stand? Again? You are not calm enough to make this decision. What do you think it is that Aurelia wants the most at this moment? I don't know. Maybe for you to not even fight her ridiculous claims? She has enough self-awareness to know how easily such asinine theories are disproven. What she is really aiming to acquire is further testimony. If the detective is called to the stand, Aurelia will certainly press her with various irrelevant queries. Given Dr. Hellinger's inclination to avoid assumptions, I have no doubt some possibility will be conceded. I will not subscribe to any more of her headache-inducing maneuvers.
Well, the crowd's community doesn't want you either, bitch. Shame. But your stubbornness means that you only have the report itself to lean on. Not anyone giving an alternate explanation for the sweat. My point is backed up.
You believe you have any ground to stand on with this? If you say poison was on that display case, then how come Dr. Hellinger made no mention of it?
Who knows? It could be something that's very hard to detect even with her equipment. Feel free to call her to the stand so we can ask her about it.
You've got to be kidding me. Whatever then, we don't need her to take care of this. There can only be poison on that case if somebody actually had a chance to put it there. But that lower floor had been locked for ages. Nobody even had access to it.
Nobody had access to that floor? I disagree. This person recently demonstrated that they very much have access to the lower floor. Susan! You hiding something from me. I feel like you are. How about this What? Did I not present Susan? How about this person?
I don't know.
I do not like the implications of that.
Okay, no, I did present Susan. Well, I can't say I'm too fond of you suing me either. You know, she has a point. Gets it evened out.
What are we implying exactly?
It's pretty straightforward, Your Honor. The claim that nobody had access to the lower floor holds absolutely no water. If that were true, how come we were able to send people to investigate it? Our captor generously enabled the elevator access. I assume both she and her mother are capable of it. If she was capable to do it now, who's to say she couldn't do it before? Set up a poisonous trap, for example.
Outrageous does not even begin to describe this atrocious accusation. Mere possibilities are of no consequence. Why would the victim even head down there and touch that display case just before the auction?
To get the gun!
Duh! The reason doesn't matter much now, does it? The blood is clear proof she was there.
The blood proves no such thing. If you're going to be that frivolous, I shall respond adequately. That blood, you cannot prove it got on the display case that recently. It could have been there for years, for all you know.
Nonsense! Then what about the cut on the victim's finger?
My position on that has been clear from the beginning. The victim received that cut during her struggle with you. Therefore, I pose this to you again. Can you even provide a remotely rational reason for her to visit that place just before the incident? If you cannot address that, it's not worth debating the myriad of other problems.
Fine, I'll take on any challenges you got. Shouldn't be too hard. Can give a decent reason for her to go down there, it'll pass. I remember her actions. It should be possible to link something to that display case. The victim went to the display case on the lower floor because of this. The gun. Wait a second.
What?
Whoa, wait. It's not the gun.
Why?
So we're saying that the small faint of the small cut of the blood is the reason why is the whole thing we're here. Wouldn't there be blood on this?
She cut herself on the glass, not the gun.
Yeah, but like... Wait, but the knife had blood on it.
A faint amount of blood on the handle. Was the knife originally in that case?
It could have been.
Wait, hold on. Go to the autopsy report. No, not that one.
The other one?
No, go to the autopsy report. The GART one.
That's where I was just at.
And go to the second page. That's what I meant. Only draw this weapon if you're prepared to kill. It doesn't explicitly say what type of weapon it is.
So it could have been a knife.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it might be the knife. Let's see. Oh my god, did I save us from a penalty? Oh my god. There seemed to be some signs suggesting the gun was inside the display case. This seems a little odd now that we know the victim bought it. This case must have been some leftover from the former tenant. It wouldn't contain a recently acquired item. Only draw this weapon if you're truly prepared to kill. The inscription fortunately fits another piece of evidence as well. The knife the
right!
victim carried with her. She must have fetched it from that case downstairs and left her unneeded gun behind. Which, by the way, is pretty odd on the victim's part. There were still plenty of items to sell upstairs, so why go fetch that so far in advance? Unless, of course, she needed it for a certain murder scheme.
The reason this appears odd to you is because it never happened.
And yet, it might explain another part of this case that seemed out of place from the beginning. There was another thing Mrs. Holden had with her that could have connected to the display case. What? We still don't know what the key does.
That key right there?
We still don't know what that key does, and it was found at the scene, but it wasn't to the door.
There is a key slot on the knife, right? Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's actually all coming together. What is going on? It's like... It's all coming together, but I don't see where it's coming to. This is weird. I'm sure you remember this.
That key certainly left an impression at the beginning of this trial.
What about it? We're not talking about that topic.
Weren't you curious at all? If this isn't the key to the study, then what is it for? This case happens to have a lock. If the key fits, then you'd have your proof that Mrs. Holden recently dealt with this display case!
You love gambling on the evidence, don't you? Let's do it then. Your luck will run out eventually. We will do no such thing. Excuse me? Again? You already went against my advice one time. Observe where it has led us. Have you still not learned this simple lesson? Entertain Aurelia at all, and she will find another way to prolong this trial. Investigate the lower floor again? Such a complete waste of time.
Sounds to me like you know I'm right about this. Well, I figured you might. After all, it's very likely the plaintiff wanted to remove this key from the body to hide that connection. It would happen to explain that locked room problem, too.
Are you talking about the fact that the key to the study is still missing?
Of course. If you think about who could have taken it, there are only so many options. We already know the plaintiff took the spray from the body. If she really poisoned the display case, it would make sense to try and hide the connection. However, she messed up and took the wrong key instead, leaving us with a bit of a mystery.
No proof. You can't show that happened.
Maybe not, but with that possibility in mind, are you really in a position to refuse letting us verify this? We look pretty bad for you.
That's inconsequential. I assure you we will win. I will listen to my lawyer. There will be no second pointless trip to the second floor.
You're straight up obstructing the trial, then!
You, of all people, complain about obstruction. How many ridiculous theories have you concocted this far that have ended up making no difference? Imagine if the police searched your house on such flimsy grounds. You have zero proof of any of this. You have zero proof any of this is plausible enough to warrant this.
Well, it's certainly rather speculative. I'll be honest, Miss Chase. Even without the detective's testimony, it seems... Well, we're talking about a poison that somehow wasn't detected during an autopsy. Unless you can provide evidence the victim went downstairs or was actually poisoned, it does not hold much water, because it is not a bucket.
It's dead on arrival is what it is.
Shut up, Vex. It's going to prove it using this key.
Even if that key fit the display case, it still would not prove when she actually used it. It could have been a week ago, with her then simply leaving it in her pocket.
What about a gun? Are you going to say that has also been down there for a week?
Why wouldn't I? The sole reason you gave for why she might need it today is based on another unfounded theory. She could very well have fetched the knife from somewhere upstairs. And even if she got it from downstairs, that could have occurred ages ago. And even if it happened today, that could have occurred without her getting any cuts or being poisoned. You've established exactly 0 parts of that theory of yours.
Some high-grade BS. How am I supposed to prove things if you keep blocking literally everything?
How do I put this? Not our problem. Adequately put. If your theories remain this inconsequential, it cannot be helped that they are not worth exploring. Wake me up in the unlikely case of you managing to prove anything worthwhile.
So you basically want me to either show actual proof the victim got poisoned, or proof she went downstairs and got cut. All without being allowed to call anyone to the stand or another trip to the lower floor.
You're in no position to make demands, so yes.
Aggravating. She's sadly right. The suggestion still lacks any solid ground. I won't be pressed to give me any more info until I prove at least some parts of my theory. What I need does not require new testimony to the elevator. It might still be possible to produce. The elevator's in Miss Holden's control, so there'd be no chance there. By any trivial check that can be performed on this floor, I may be able to get the judge on board with that. Fine, I'll prove it.
Prove what, Miss Chase?
Good question. Which part might I be able to prove?
Check the tower diagram.
The hole. The hole in the window. Oh my god. Wait.
I was thinking of checking the tower diagram to see what it says about the elevator. Yeah, check what the third one says. I'm not sure we actually have the hole in the window as an actual piece of evidence. I don't know if we have that actually.
Regardless, I think we can only prove the bottom one.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Maybe just focusing on proving the victim got cut by the case would be better. If I can demonstrate this happened today, just before the crime, it'll become more difficult to deny that the two murders have a connection, which might just be enough to force new testimony. As for how to prove that, it will come down to somehow showing that the victim got this cut before entering the study. Finding her blood on something else might help. Just gotta hope it's also narrows down the time frame. I'm going to prove the victim went downstairs and got cut only a little while before the incident. And the evidence for that... Now that I'm seeing it, I'm sort of leaning towards not.
It's not in the court record because Aurelia said we can request a check on this floor.
But what room?
I don't know.
The required proof isn't in the court record.
I don't think you're meant to say that part out loud.
Shut up! I didn't say the evidence doesn't exist. This one will come down to another gamble. And if I assume my theory is right, there is a very high chance the proof... The judge's seat.
The judge's seat?
Or, like,
why?
the judge area.
Why?
Because wasn't she doing the auction right before the murder?
Oh shit, yeah!
If the evidence isn't in the court record, then where in the world is it?
I'm going to reveal that right now. The proof we're looking for is in this very
room.
The proof is in this very room!
Are you serious, or did you just opt to go for the most dramatic option? Big talk. I'm sure you can point out exactly where it is, right? Oh my god!
Didn't have to ask me. The proof we're looking for is right here.
She had the knife, like, during the auction. She held the knife during the auction. Which means she had to have gotten that knife down in the lower room right before the auction started. I think you're right.
Make sure you hear me out before passing any judgment. If I'm right about my theory, then you will find the victim's blood on your gavel, Your Honor. Motherfucker, what?
Order. Miss Chase, I do not know where you're going with this, but I suggest you tread lightly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, shit.
Also, new sprite? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's really intimidating.
There's a reason I said you should hear me out first. We're all here today because Mrs. Holden's organizing an auction. It is an auction that took place just before the crime. During it, the victim may have touched various auction items she was selling. But more importantly, that gavel you borrowed from her, she had definitely been handling for most of the event. If there's blood on it, that would prove the victim was already wounded beforehand.
The same chronological fallacy that applies to the display case would also apply to that gavel. Supposing we were to find blood on it, what proves it is recent and not from some day in the past?
The words of your own client.
What? I give nothing away.
What did you say again when you stuck the stand? You can thank me for everything in this auction being impeccably clean. That would no doubt have included the most important tool of the auction, the gavel. So let me take this chance to thank you for a job well done!
Oh my god.
I see. So that means that any blood on this gavel would be very recent. What a shame. I really liked how this one felt. Fortunately, I always have a spare with me.
And my bargain at all! A true gavel connoisseur, I guess. We shouldn't be asking too much that Dr. Hellinger run a quick blood check on it. And while we're at it, check all the other items that were auctioned off. I won this fair and square, I ain't giving it back, bruv! No one asked you to return your stuff. The thing is, we roughly know in what order these items were sold. We saw Mrs. Holden presenting most of them after her daughter made sure they were clean. Which means any blood on them could be used to narrow down the time frame Mrs. Holden got that cut. I don't even have to leave the room for this. Surely there are no objections. Even Victoria's not. Oh my god.
Yeah. Victoria can't reject this, unfortunately.
Unfortunately?
For her, I mean.
My stance on this should be evident.
Thankfully,
Or
it
maybe
doesn't
she
matter.
is going to reject it.
Unfortunate for you, Victoria. Your stance doesn't matter if you don't say it.
If the court wishes to waste its time regardless, I shall take a nap.
Just you wait. Sooner or later, I'll give you that well-earned wake-up call.
It appears this is the most readily available way to test the defendant's theory. Please do the necessary checks, Dr. Hellinger.
Wasting my goddamn time. You do have a thing for making up theories without any verification, Aurelia Chase.
Absolute
Let me
cinema.
just say, the method is objectively guaranteed to backfire eventually. I will allow myself to say something for the record as well. Dr. Hellinger will only report the results of this most recent check. She will not testify about anything beyond that.
Stubborn about that one, huh? Whatever, let's just hear what she has to say. That should show how much time I'm actually wasting.
Was any blood present on the items we gave you?
Regardless of what it means, the following is what I can say. No blood whatsoever was found on the sold auction items. As for the gavel, there's a tiny amount of Melanie Holden's blood on it.
Go!
It's barely perceptible with just your eyes.
There was actually blood on it? Oh dear. Court is in recess for 2 minutes while I go wash my hands.
Not on the auction items, but on the gavel. I think we can deduce what this means. Mrs. Holden must have recently gotten that cup before the auction went on break. Which, you will remember, is when she went to fetch the knife and then showed it to us. That is mere moments before she headed to the study. It tracks perfectly with my theory.
It's a moderately valid conclusion. However, there's something else I'd like to note about your theory. Haven't I been clear enough? Do not say anything unnecessary. You do not have permission.
This is getting ridiculous. If it's relevant, you might as well say it.
If Miss Tristan does not need my help, then so be it. Don't misunderstand. You should be glad I'm currently not officially understand.
I don't like the sound of that. This is just another trap I'm walking into. Oh, hi again.
I'm back. Court is back in session.
It was never out of session, but sure.
Where were we?
Let me sum up what's been established now. Mr. Holden got this cut while getting the knife. The display case is the only reasonable spot it could have been stored. There's no more room to deny it. Nothing else we found would match that cut. No more objections? Well, isn't that a nice change of pace? So let me get this straight. Mrs. Holden went to the justice room right before she died. And later on, Mr. Garcher so happened to be killed in that very same room. No matter what you think of my theory, can we really still say there's definitely no connection?
You need to know when to stop doubling down. Not forgotten. I still know what you dared to imply earlier. The part where I'm the only one with access to the lower floor.
So much for forcing the topic to be about that second murder. The only one with access aside from Mrs. Holden, but close enough. Do you deny it?
You really don't want to say it yourself, do you? You'd basically have to accuse me to be this poisoner.
Well... yeah. You'd be the one most likely to have been aware of the victim's plans for that day. You know, her whole plan to frame me. I still maintain that happened. However, perhaps that plan didn't fail due to simple bad luck. It's possible someone in the know intentionally sabotaged it for their own ends. If you poisoned her in the middle of that frame-up, I was guaranteed to turn into the prime suspect.
So, you actually have the nerve to say it. How to respond to that? What reason would I have to kill her? Unbelievable you'd go there.
Look at that bitch-ass lawyer.
Order, please. She is right, however. You are going to have to provide something here, defendant.
Why would she kill her own mother? What motive is there?
I'm thinking something connected to the Tinder lender. Something connected to the debt that she has. That's my only guess.
Money. I don't remember where it's set, but doesn't she have a lot of money?
Click on her business history. She was consistently able to negotiate above average rents, which means she was pulling in a ton of money. And if she killed her mother, where would that money go?
To her.
Presuming that Mrs. Holden made a will, which I assume that she has at this point, all the money would go to Susan. And then Susan would be able to pay off her debt.
People do not just kill their own parents for no reason, I'd like to believe.
I think you're vastly underselling the grudges that can run in families. But if it's an explicit motive you want, I can give it to you. This piece of evidence shows why you need to kill your mommy. I present to you one of the cleanest and most straightforward motives in existence.
The cleaning spray?
Still mine. How do you actually have that?
Oh, so you admit it's yours?
Interesting.
You dropped it. More importantly, this isn't just any cleaning spray. This is Tender Mender, a special product only handed out to clients of a certain loan shark. If it is truly yours, as you just said, then you must be one of their clients. Here, this Tender Lender is quite infamous for charging ridiculous rates.
I've heard the name before. It's run by the blue-suited lawyer, I think.
No! Phoenix, I'm so sorry.
I'm pretty sure.
Phoenix, I'm sorry for the slander. It's actually run by the mob, from what I've heard. Yeah, Phoenix Wright, so I'm in the mob, fuckers. Is it true that you've gambled yourself into debt, Mrs. Holden? Or Miss Holden?
So what? What does that have to do with any of this?
Money is one of the most classic motives in the world. Okay, am I crazy, or am I feeling like it can't be Susan? That just feels sort of obvious.
There's gonna be a twist to this at some point. I can feel it.
Why would I kill my mother for that? She had a high-paying job. She even let me help out as an assistant. She did everything in her power to help me get out of this debt, and you're saying I killed her?
Yeah, that's true. Land sharks can be very impatient. It was like we made very clear that you definitely would not want to miss any payments. So you didn't only need money, you needed it fast. Your mother's death would let you inherit her assets. I imagine that would have given you quite a boost. But apparently that still wasn't enough, was it?
Slow down. Where the hell is this going?
It's going all in, but I don't plan on losing like you clearly do. Oh!
Holy shit!
Your mother's assets still weren't enough to cover whatever debt you had accumulated. What better way to make a quick buck than a good old-fashioned lawsuit? Oh my god,
Oh my god!
$1 million!
That's not... Why is this happening?
What in the world, Miss Chase? Are you saying this trial was part of the plan too?
Oh my god! A lawyer, a detective, a judge.
Yeah, all these people just happen to be present?
Holy shit, it might actually be her. What the fuck? That's so smart.
Kill your mother to gain her assets, and then pull a lawsuit on the person you framed for the job. Get even more money, pay off all your debt.
Oh my lord. Let me ask you something, Your Honor. What brought you here today? Did you just decide to visit this auction on a random whim?
Well, no, that's not quite how it happened. Me and a few bailiffs received some sort of invitation to this event.
Oh, did you?
An advertisement, I suppose. It mentioned there would be free food, so it sounded quite nice.
See? Don't you think it's too convenient that we had a workable courtroom, a detective, a lawyer, and a judge? All of them just happening to be here, happening to be present? This whole trial was carefully arranged to try and push off your debt on me! We got Victoria shocked. We're truly cooking.
This is slander, all of it.
Just one moment, Miss Chase. I understand that you claim Mrs. Holden planned to kill and frame you. And now you are saying this plan was used by the plaintiff to poison her mother and frame you. But what would have happened if Mrs. Holden had actually managed to kill you?
She could have turned on her and just made her go to jail anyways. Oh, shit. Wow. Well, I'm no legal expert here, but does that really stand in the way of a lawsuit? I mean, I'm currently being framed on behalf of a dead person, right? Imagine it's possible to sue a dead person as well under the right circumstances. So she probably would have tried to go ahead with it anyway, before my corpse was even cold.
I see. It would be quite cold-blooded indeed. There are various factors to consider, but it is indeed possible to sue a dead person's estate as well.
But you're the one who shot my mother. You're the only one who could have done it. Even if all these plans you keep coming up with were true, what does it matter?
She didn't die to the gunshot.
It's the same as before. Never happened.
At most, I desecrated with a corpse. Or I desecrated a corpse. You know what crime I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
Even if it were true that I only could have shot her, the scenario was quite different. For example, what if the victim had already died due to the poison at that time? I'm sure shooting a corpse can be a crime in its own right, but it's not murder. In either way, if the victim was going to die from poison no matter what, then I cannot be held liable for any financial losses. Those would have been inevitable already! About time you came back, Victoria. I was waiting for it.
I must commend you for finally presenting a modicum of challenge.
Is that a compliment? Am I going crazy? Wow. We've truly gotten character development from Victoria.